You're listening to Pixels Podcast, a show dedicated to talking about all things gaming, movies, streaming, and more. My name is Pixel Sean, and I am a live streamer looking to turn online content creation into a full-time occupation. I'm sitting down with other content creators to talk about their journey, their struggles, the lessons they've learned along the way, and just to have a good time. If you do want to support this show, you can give this show a rating, and you can also find all my socials in the description below. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome back everyone to another episode of Pixels Podcast. In today's podcast, we're going to be discussing the importance and emphasis of getting your short form content out. We are once again joined by Karlec. Karlec, how are you going?
Very good. How about yourself, brother?
Not too bad. And obviously all the links are in the description below, including Karlec's contact details, socials, all links that you need for the show, including Patreon, Instagram, Twitters, all that sort of stuff. So let's just jump into the importance of short form content. Now, I specifically have noticed in the last few months, there has been a massive push across multiple platforms, the importance of short form content. Have you noticed that as well?
Definitely, especially with like I'd say it really started back in the day with Vine and how things have kind of grown from there into like Musical.ly, and then from Musical.ly to TikTok.
Yep.
And just the dominance that TikTok has over the market because it's so easy, and I know we're all kind of guilty of it. I sit there on Instagram going through like the little shorts they have and just watching like music stuff over and over because it takes 30 seconds and you're on to the next one.
Yep.
Like you get your fill and you move on.
Yep.
So short form content has definitely been on the rise.
It's been absolutely massive now. YouTube have come out with it's been out for a few months now, but there's been a lot of attention going to it because a few people have been making some videos about how broken the algorithm is for YouTube Shorts. So for those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically YouTube's answer to TikTok, where you can upload videos in a 9:16 aspect ratio, so basically your phone standing upright. Anything less than 60 seconds, and all you need to do to make a short is have those requirements, as I've just said, and put the hashtag shorts in the description. YouTube will then automatically turn that into a YouTube Shorts and put that into the Shorts feed, I guess. So it does go onto your actual channel, but it goes into this separate area where people can browse shorts, and it will basically be like a version of TikTok on YouTube. Now, as I said before, the algorithm is broken at this point in time because I uploaded a few shorts, and I'm looking at some of them now. I've uploaded 5. A couple of them are only at 60, 70 views. The other 3, I've uploaded 6. The other 3 are sitting on between 400 to 600, and one is sitting on 1.3k views at the moment. So that one video...
I'd like to point out, sorry to jump in,
That's right.
I want to point out the one with the 1.3k views is the one where you're staring at a character's ass. That's how you know the kind of content you need to make. Yeah. Just saying.
But that one with 1.3k views, that got 1.1k within the first 9 hours. I remember sending you a picture of it saying, holy fuck, 9 hours, it's got 1.1k views. And my average viewers on that YouTube channel for the longer form videos is maybe 20 to 200 views, just depending on what the video is.
I don't know if you've got the numbers in front of you, but I remember when you first uploaded your first short, I can't remember your exact numbers, but I remember it being something like by the time you uploaded the six short or so, you'd already jumped like 5 subscribers as well.
So I went from 122 and now I'm sitting on 133 or 134, and that was just with the short. So overnight, it jumped up 10 subscribers just by taking advantage of this algorithm on YouTube.
Yeah, and if you're a small content creator, and by small, I mean like sub 10k, let's be real. Like, you don't really have a huge regular audience of any kind. Because YouTube, the numbers are a lot bigger than what I'd say something like Twitch is for that kind of content.
Yeah.
But if you're like a small time player in YouTube and you want to get kind of growth, this is a great way to get growth and also have content that doesn't take so much effort and time to put in.
Exactly.
Because I just want to go, like, take us a little bit back in time, back to when Pixel kind of, not necessarily first started out, but this was kind of just as you finally had internet that couldn't stream in 480p, and, you know, we could actually see what was happening. And you wanted to really start to get yourself out there, because you're like, you know, by then you'd come out of your shell, because we'd all make fun of the image quality and stuff like that, and we're always talking shit, and it was good times. And actively you got more and more confident with your stuff, and you wanted to make a whole bunch of, like, more content to get yourself out there. And at the time, let's be real, you were a bit scared of video editing. You know, like, you gave me that excuse, I don't have time, which we've been over in the past, of I never accept that excuse. That's a load of shit to me. It doesn't mean you have to be the most driven person in the world. I'm lazy as you get, but you never make the excuse, I don't have time. Just admit you're lazy. It's okay to be lazy, you know. But anyway, I remember taking some of your clips and stuff from Twitch, which I think is one of the best features Twitch ever brought in, even though, you know, with DMCA, it's completely screwed at the moment. But the idea of the clip is brilliant. It's short form content, people can watch. You get the core, funny, interesting moment.
Short, sharp bit,
Yeah. And it makes it more interesting. Now, the problem with a lot of clips on Twitch is it's all live content. So getting highly polished and interesting things happening isn't really going to happen. So with YouTube bringing in shorts, and what you've done with your shorts specifically is you've added in these nice little bits of editing that just polish it up a little bit. And it's the difference that it makes. And when I started editing, when I did those little clips for you where I edited them to make them more funny and stuff like that, granted, I was still learning some video editing myself back then, but some of that stuff to me is still hilarious when I go back and watch it, because I'm like, you know, we had the joke. Even if it's only funny for me and you, we knew the joke.
Yeah, exactly.
We got it. We enjoyed it. And I felt like we managed to kind of hit that on the head. Like, your editing is very much that style to me. But the only real difference I see, if I had to go, okay, if I look at your editing versus my editing, is I go frame by frame to track literally everything.
Yeah, I can't be fucked that.
Yeah. And do you need to do that? For anyone who wants to go out there and do that sort of stuff? No. For the love of God, you don't need to do it. I can't speak for Adobe After Effects and all that stuff, but I'm pretty sure they have automated tracking. I think the newer versions of Vegas have it. I'm not paying $400 freaking dollars because I'm a cheap ass. That shit's expensive. For something that is effectively just a hobby for me. But if you are willing to put in the time, you can make your stuff stand out infinitely better if you just have, you know, a little bit of patience, a little bit of time. It doesn't necessarily have to be frame by frame. Like, definitely Pixel's content, as it's grown in terms of maturity and, like, how much better the quality is, it really shows that, yes, he doesn't put in, you know, 30 hours for, like, you know, 10 videos. He might put in, you know, 15, 20 hours. He's still putting in a lot of work, and it definitely shows. So don't be afraid to put in a little work, even if it is a short clip, to make it look better. But you're not going to have to spend hours and hours and hours doing it.
And that's obviously the benefit of doing these short form contents. Like, what I do is, or what I'm doing at the moment is, yes, I'm recording separate videos for the short form contents like YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok, and I'll get into those in a second about how easy it is to make one video and spread them out. But if you don't want to record separate videos like I'm doing, you can also, if you are a live streamer, you can do what we just said and grab, you know, those 30, 40-second clips from your Twitch, just note down the time as you're streaming, and then put them into, you know, you can get a free video editor. There's a million of them online, and just change the aspect ratio. And then right there and then, you can just edit and crop it and zoom it in or whatever just to make it fit. And after editing it, it literally takes about 3 to 4 minutes if your clip is only about 30, 40 seconds long. It's a small file size. You can zoom in, add a couple of memes or, you know, whatever effects you want to add in. And it takes such a short period of time because the actual content is so short anyway. It's going to be really quick to edit. It's going to be such a small file size. And once you record and export that to your computer, both TikTok and YouTube Shorts allow you obviously just to drag and drop from your computer. So you don't need to drag it over to your phone just to upload. At the moment, Instagram Reels only allow you to upload from your phone, though I have heard they are interested in changing that. So once that happens, you can just save the file to your computer, drag and drop into all 3 websites or apps or whatever, and then your content's up ready to go. You can add all your hashtags and copy and paste one over to the other 2, and then you're done. It's so simple and so easy, and it is probably one of the most effective ways to get attention to whatever platform you're on, because I'm looking at it now on Instagram. I uploaded part 3 of a short, and it's already sitting on 670 views. That was 2 hours ago.
Yeah, and guys, remember, this is why we say, like, for small content creators, because to someone like me, 670 views on a video, it's like, yeah, that's a shitload of views. In the context of it, it is jack shit.
I just refreshed it.
Remember,
it's up to 700.
you got to remember, you're starting at the bottom. You've got to make your way up. So never forget that. But one thing you brought up really, really quick, I do want to quickly touch on, is how you said, these files are small. They're not big. They don't take a lot to edit. You don't need a super high-end PC to do this. A lot of this stuff for shorts, you can do on your phones these days or iPads.
Yep.
So, again, don't worry about having, $400 editing programs and a $7,000 beast of an editing computer and all this other crap. You can do it with what you've got. Doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, no, but it lets you get your start. And as we always say, the only thing that really stops you from doing something is yourself. So just do it when it comes to that stuff.
So I started just using on my phone, using an app called InShot, where you can change it to a 1:1 or a 9:16 or a 16:9. It has all these different aspect ratios. It has different animations. You can have different effects, like it shakes it zooms in, it pans and zooms. So like you say, there's definitely just so many tools at people's disposal just to get content out. It's just a matter of you clipping the content or recording the content and just sitting down and editing it. And because these are such a small amount of time, you could literally record a bunch of videos. And let's say if you're time constrained, on your break at work, you could pump out a couple of videos while you're eating lunch. It's
definitely.
so easy, and then you can just, if you want to, you can start scheduling it or save it to your phone. It's so easy to pump out these short form content, and they're also some of the most effective in terms of the algorithm.
Yeah, 100%. I know this might be a little off topic, but I actually want to quickly touch on, it just made me think of, there's certain people out there that do this kind of weird mixture of short form content in long form video. So I'm sure everyone's seen like Vine compilations and things like that. Now, those, they can work, but it depends. Like, if you're a big channel, doing a compilation of your shorts would be fantastic. If you're a smaller content creator, say you're doing something like how we've been playing through the Resi games, and your shorts are basically based around those, you could compile the things that are kind of thematically the same.
Yep.
So, just to think of certain people, like, you could talk about like someone like Soviet Womble or The Do. The dude might do, he might have a 20-minute long video on Rainbow Six Siege, for example. And in that video, it's a bunch of short clips basically from gameplay of the funny moments. So the video is entertaining from start to finish. So you might only be able to do, say, one big video a week, and you're like, well, I want to do shorts. Why not try doing a bunch of shorts and then that are thematically the same, or based around the same sort of thing, and then compile it into one thing if you prefer to make long-form content, like I personally do.
Yep, exactly. I'm going to be doing this throughout the episode. I refreshed it again.
Fucking hopeless.
726. It's going up.
We call this narcissism.
I'm going viral, boys. Going to the top.
Got the Rona. Absolutely hopeless.
So, look,
hopeless.
I want to get into now a little bit of a comparison between the three. TikTok, Instagram Reels, and obviously YouTube Shorts. Now, the reason why Well, we'll start with TikTok. Everyone knows that's a powerhouse, and it's designed to be very easily, I guess the content's designed to be very easily digestible and consumed. It is probably the most efficient way of consuming content on your phone. You don't like a video, you swipe up, bang, new video. The algorithm learns what you stick around for, whose profiles you go on, what you interact with. So for me at the moment, I get a whole bunch of streaming tips and dogs. That's all I get at the moment. I just get puppies and streaming tips because that's basically all I interact with at the moment.
Well, that's like my Instagram. It's guitars, shit posts, and boobies.
Nice.
I'm lonely, okay? Soon. No, there's definitely like dogs and cats. Like anything to do with animals, I'm there.
That's the thing. Like, it's so easy for the algorithm to learn what you engage with. It then pushes more of that kind of content to your phone to obviously keep you on the app for as long as possible. I made a video a couple of days ago that hit 18.3k views. Just on it was a political matter, but out of that 18k views, there's 300 and almost 3.3 or 3.2k likes. So and that was just on one, and I went from 14 followers up to over 200 in a couple of days.
Yeah, and like you've got to remember also impression rates versus views is definitely something that's hard to keep, because you'll notice some YouTubers will mention, something like ridiculous, like 85 to 95% of their viewers aren't even subscribed.
Yeah.
So short form content is really easy to interact with.
Yeah.
Because you're not sitting there having moments of quiet or moments where you're like, okay, let me think about what's happening in the video. Obviously, both being into gaming and stuff, we have our separate interests, but like, say I look at a gaming video, I'm not really likely to subscribe to a lot of gaming channels specifically unless they make very specific type of content. Whereas if I'm listening to like music channels, I'm more likely to subscribe to musicians, because that kind of content, I'm like, I'm more interested in seeing what other people do with that.
Yeah.
Which is why gaming, especially coming from live streamers ourselves, especially in the gaming scene, it's something you got to keep in mind, how to make your content, especially in a short form, stand out and be more interesting. Because if you're not going to get click-through rates, as you said, you did something a little bit different to the usual. It might have been a little political, which is perfectly acceptable. You're allowed to talk politics. I'm not, because I get mad. And for anyone who doesn't know, I'm in a pissy mood today because of the federal government. I'm not going into it because we'll be here all day about me yelling at them. So all you need to know is, I'm angry. But generally the idea of, don't be afraid to make content you like, but, at the same time, understand certain things will get a better click-through rate.
Yeah.
So don't chase the views, but at the same time, if you want to get some extra views, don't be afraid to try something a little different.
Yeah, I think the advice is obviously make the content because you enjoy it, but monitor how successful and what is actually successful. If, some of my gaming stuff on TikTok, it does decently. It gets around, 200 to 300 views, which is fine. But, some other ones take off and it's like 800 views, because I did a video on Cyberpunk, and the reason why that took off a little bit more is because that was what was most being talked about at that time. So obviously look at what's trending, look at what's sort of big at the moment, but if something doesn't go, as big as you want, don't get discouraged by it. Just keep putting stuff out there. And as we said, it doesn't take that long to make short form content, so just keep putting stuff out.
Yeah, it's not a huge time investment. If I look at like a video I'm very happy with, like my 100-hour rant on Cyberpunk, for example, just since we brought that up, that's a video I'm very, very proud of, for what it is. Like, it wasn't super high effort or anything like that, but, it's a 45-minute long video. So there's a lot of time investment into making that.
Yep.
Versus, let me take 10 seconds to make a bloody, gaming clip to throw on TikTok, It might take you a few minutes to do it, but it's not a huge time investment. So, you're more likely to be able to make content you enjoy in short form than in long form. Yeah. But you also might not necessarily see the click-through rates that you would hope for.
Exactly.
So do keep that in mind. Now, we got a little off topic. We'll get back to it. You were talking about TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. So let's get on. I think you were finished with TikTok and you're moving on to Instagram.
Yeah, so TikTok has an insane algorithm. As I said, it learns from your behavior, recommends more videos like that to keep you on. Go over to Instagram. Now, they have their answer to TikTok, which is called Instagram Reels. Now, this is what I don't like about Instagram. So the Reels can only be a maximum of 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
You then have Instagram TV, which the minimum time length is 60 seconds up to an hour. So then you have this weird gap in the middle where you can't take advantage of this other algorithm between 30 to 60 seconds. So if you have a 45-second clip, what I had to do was split it into 2 parts for an Instagram Reel.
Yeah.
I don't know why they've just have a blackout between 30 and 60 seconds, but you have to keep your content to 30 seconds or under for a reel, or 60 seconds and above for Instagram TV. But
yeah, I'd be surprised if there isn't like some stupid study that says, well, people only pay attention for this amount of time for short video form content.
Yeah.
This time is the least useful. It's still a very odd thing to omit for the users, because the more choice we have, the
exactly,
better.
Yeah. I think they are changing. And when I looked it up, there were a few articles saying there's plans to change that in 2021. And yeah, so I've just recently started getting into Reels, and as I've been bragging about it in this episode, that one part 3 has now shot up to 766. So
just rub it in.
So like you can see,
says
like
the guy who never post. I post to Instagram like once every 6 months.
Yeah, and so like you just see how easy it is, and like this was just in all honesty, out of the 3 parts, that part at the end was just telling people to get a Twitter, and that's gone to almost 1,000 views. Like the first part is probably the most important, but you see how like, easy it is.
Do me a favor one day. You don't have to do it right now. Do a video and just say wipe your ass. Just see how many views that gets.
1 million views. Viral.
Look, it's good advice. Everyone, learn to wipe.
It is.
Come on now.
More than once in some occasions.
Yeah, and learn the direction in which you should go based on your genitalia, because there is actually a science to it.
Yeah. But yeah,
that was a random clip I got recommended on fucking Instagram. And I was like, I never thought about that. Like, why do men wipe forward whereas women have to wipe back? Like, oh yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, but like, why? Because I get random health things. Because I guess Instagram's like, hey, your health isn't the best. I'm like, no shit.
Yeah, read this.
Yeah. I know this is a little unrelated. We'll get back on topic in one quick second, sorry. I remember seeing a thing about this, but you can actually go to, if you ever want to know what you're kind of getting recommended for a lot of this stuff, if you go to Google and you go to the ad settings, it'll actually show you what you're getting recommended. So if you're seeing things that maybe you looked up once as a joke and then you just keep getting it, you can see it in there, and you can actually, I think, delete it from your history, so they won't target you with that kind of stuff. Because every now and then, like, I still get stuff for like engagement rings, and I'm like, no, I don't need that stuff anymore.
All the tailored ads,
yeah. I'm like, so keep that sort of stuff in mind. For like, if you're seeing content you don't really want to see, So just a little bit of a PSA on that one. So anyway, so YouTube Reels, TV, it sucks for the time settings.
Yeah, so Instagram with the Reels, you got to keep it to under 30 seconds. But as I've been saying, this last video has just been going up and up and up in viewership. It's not even that high quality. It's literally the end of an informative short that I made. But the reach I'm getting on this video, it's just cracked 800 views now. The reach on this content is far more and far greater than what I would get in a normal post if I were to just post it to the feed. And this just shows why you really should be making short form content. So again, Instagram will start to learn what you interact with and start recommending different forms of content. Clearly, people have seen this and they've engaged with it, which is why it goes out to a larger circle of people. And they engage with that, and then it goes out to a larger circle from there, and it just keeps going until no longer anyone actually engages with it anymore, and then it stops growing. So, look, I put my first one up and it's got 64 views. I put this fourth one up on Instagram and it's cracked 800. So, you never know what people are going to react to or not, but the potential for growth in these shorts is massive. Again, it comes back down to that consumable content. If people don't like it, it's a quick scroll. There's no effort. There's no time investment. You've probably wasted 15 seconds. If you don't like it, you move on to the next one. And in a minute's time, you've forgotten that video ever existed.
I just want to, before we get into talk about the YouTube shorts, just to change the topic again. Every time you bring up the views, all that's going through my head is, did you ever see the South Park episode where they go to San Francisco?
No, I don't think I have.
So basically, the whole point of the episode was they were taking the piss on like Hollywood and their smugness, and then in like everyone starts getting electric cars and all this, and they start going, thanks, and just being like real cunts, like just really pretentious. And basically the joke is, if you're in was it San Francisco, you sniff your own farts for enjoyment. And just every time you bring up your like, oh yeah, it's at 800 views, like every time you refresh, that's all that's going through my head is you're just sitting there going
good shit.
Yeah, like that's all that's coming to mind. I highly recommend you look up that episode when you get a chance. It's one of the funniest freaking things I've ever seen.
All right, back to YouTube Shorts. So, learn about Instagram Reels. It has to be less than 30 seconds. That's the only thing that shits me, but obviously the reachability is quite good. I'd say not as good as TikTok, because Instagram kind of added this on as a response to TikTok. I think they were losing a few people to TikTok. But now it's just a version of TikTok in Instagram.
It's kind of like Instagram is YouTube and TikTok is Twitch.
Yeah.
You know, like they're very much dedicated to their very specific genre of content.
Yeah.
And one, like the bigger party, in this case Instagram, is trying to play catch up.
Yeah, exactly.
In that sense.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean it couldn't overtake, but realistically I don't see it overtaking from TikTok.
I think TikTok's too far gone at the moment.
Yeah, it's just too far ahead. And that's my thing with Twitch as well. I think Twitch is just currently too well established to just fail immediately. Yeah. Because it will happen, let's be real, every website eventually dies. Twitch will probably be a slow burn down.
Yeah.
I don't see it just being like an overnight issue, because like everyone's like, oh, the DMCA, all that. It's like, nah. It's like, I've seen it all before over the years. It's nothing new.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
all right.
I actually wanted to ask a question before you get full on into it. Now with Instagram and TikTok, because I'm not, as I said, I'm not huge into social media, even though if you want to grow your content, you should be into it, trust me. But would you say, like tags and hashtags and all that sort of stuff, what platform do you think it is the most important on out of the three?
Well, it's very different. So I'd suggest not using as many hashtags on TikTok because of the way that their algorithm is set up. Their algorithm learns your account's behaviors. So you have some videos without any hashtags or any descriptions at all that have got over 1 million likes.
Yeah.
So to me, it seems like, you can put, I'd say maybe keep it to 3 max on TikTok, just so it gives a bit of an indication as to, you might say, Twitch or hashtag streamer. So if anyone is browsing the hashtag streamer hashtag, they might come across your video. But TikTok is really good in sending your video out to people who browse that kind of content. So it's probably not as necessary on TikTok as it would be for Instagram. That's probably why my part 3 is doing so well, is because I added more hashtags to that part 3 than I did for the first 2. And that's probably why it's gone out to a few more areas of people who like those kind of hashtags, and that's why probably more people are viewing it. So I'd say in terms of hashtags, Instagram's probably the best bet. Now with YouTube, there's this whole discussion that I can get into as well. Probably best for another podcast, but there's this SEO score that incorporates your titles, your descriptions, the hashtags in your titles and descriptions, and also video tags that make it more discoverable. And this applies to your shorts as well. And that sort of dictates where this video goes in terms of who it's recommended for and all that sort of stuff. So I'd say for hashtags, a few more in Instagram, maybe keep it to 3 tops in TikTok. With YouTube, it's a whole different ballgame with that upload process and trying to keep up the SEO score. Just trying to get that as high as possible to give yourself the best chance of being discovered.
Yeah. I just want to jump in real quick before I actually let you get back to the topic, because I love just to ruin this whole experience for everyone. Just get on with the point already, for fuck's sake. Now, I remember, I think this would have been like 3 years ago, give or take. I remember seeing that study, I'm pretty sure I sent to you, where they found using 2 to 3 hashtags is all you really need for most social media.
Yep.
Now, that's probably a little out of date because obviously algorithms do change, but that's why I wanted to ask that question, because for those of you who are making short form content and say you're only doing it on Instagram or only doing it on TikTok, before I forget to ask it, because we would have forgot because we're hopeless, is just to make sure you look at what is the best possible way to expose my video on these sites. So just keep that in mind when you're doing short form content for these sites.
And that's what I want to get into after I jump into YouTube Shorts is...
when I finally let you.
The algorithm, So I'll touch quickly on the YouTube Shorts, and I want to talk about the algorithm, because this is why this short form is so powerful.
Definitely.
So, YouTube Shorts, it actually operates outside of YouTube's normal algorithm. It operates on a different part of the site. And as we said at the start, you have your YouTube Shorts feed. So it kind of takes you to this separate area of the site where you can browse this very highly consumable content, still being on YouTube, but it's kind of like its own little thing. Because it's its own little thing, it gets its own little algorithm, which is why it's so powerful. And at the moment, people are saying it's absolutely broken, because you have channels that started, people have tested this, they've started a channel 1 month ago with no videos, and they've got over 1 million views because they just keep spamming shorts. That's how discoverable these shorts are on YouTube.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the average person can probably consume, if it's 30 seconds to a minute of video, if you're sitting down for an hour, you've got 60 videos. That's 60 views per person. And if you're talking about a site with millions, if not billions of viewers every day, you've got, let's be honest, really good odds to have something. Even with the amount of content that goes up on YouTube, you're bound to get 1 or 2 that'll get some form of viewership.
Exactly. Yep. So the YouTube, I guess, it does operate on its own algorithm, as we said before. That's why it is just so powerful. And this is why it is quite important for you to get onto Shorts, because you need to take advantage of it. If you do want to grow and start getting into content creation, this is probably one of the best ways to do it. With YouTube Shorts itself, you cannot monetize it if your channel is eligible for monetization. You can't monetize your videos if they're from the Shorts feed. However, if someone clicks on the video from their subscription feed or come over to your channel, then yes, you can monetize it if your channel is eligible for monetization. So if your channel is already big enough, you've already got a massive head start. Plus, given if people will actually see these shorts and come to your channel and watch them again or whatever, you can get more ad revenue from them. And this is what I think Twitch is really failing at. Just to get back into the streaming thing for a sec, this is what Twitch needed. They needed a form of shorts in their site. With the Twitch clips, there's no sense and there's no point in consuming clips on Twitch. Hardly anyone's doing it. And there's just no discoverability in their algorithm. They don't have the push power of TikTok or Instagram or now YouTube Shorts. So they're slowly becoming irrelevant with all these sites making strides.
Yeah, I would say it's not that Twitch doesn't have the content there, because there's millions and millions
They've got
of
it,
clips. they haven't got a way for people to view the content, because if you
No.
want to see a clip, you have to actively go to that person's channel.
You've got to
So
find the clip yourself. Yeah.
I think if they had like a clip showcase sort of page where it's like grabs random clips from random channels based on games that you enjoy, because they already
Yeah.
have an algorithm for that, then you could probably get something. Now, does that mean every clip's going to be great? And I can understand why they might want to be careful with that, because, you know, being live, you might get some pretty gnarly things being said, and you want to avoid that. And some people clip certain bad things happening as proof that this person has done something wrong. But just to quickly touch on, so you said how YouTube, this will come back to Twitch as well, how you said YouTube with the shorts, they're kind of on their own little feed, basically. It's like its
Yeah.
own little website within the site.
Yeah.
I really love that. You know,
I do
and
too.
I would love to see Twitch do this, where you have, they're kind of trying it with that whole, you know, promotion thing that you can get if you're affiliate for X amount of channel points and things like that. But I don't think they've fully implemented that the way they intended. But I'd love to see them just have an affiliates page
Yeah.
and just recommend a bunch of affiliates based on the games that you enjoy as a viewer. Have a partnered page, because some people only like watching the super high quality, high end streams.
Yeah.
Not that every partner generally has that, but let's be real. If you're a partnered streamer, you're gonna have a high end stream. That's kind of how it's gonna go. If you're an affiliate, you might have as good or better content, but you might not just have had the luck to get the viewership. Or you could be like how Pickle started and be absolute friggin' eye cancer when you're trying to watch, you know, where you can't see a damn thing on the screen.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be a really, really cool thing to do, is to make it so there is actually a whole page dedicated to the affiliates, a whole page dedicated to the partners. And if partners go, oh, but we should get preferential treatment, it's like, bitch, you already got it. You're partnered. You already get more money from the splits, you already get more ad revenue, you already get all the viewers. This gives affiliates a chance to grow, especially on a site with, like, let's be real, crap discoverability. This is where short form content, like a clip showcase, like, as you said, with the YouTube Shorts, how it's allowing channels, and yeah, your channel has some subscribers. What are you at, like 237 or something?
234 at the moment, but
234.
I went back and the videos I kind of make now, I didn't really start making them until I think April of last year. So it's not even a 1-year-old channel.
Yeah, realistically,
the videos that I've started making that
it's
are
in its
kind of
infancy.
similar. Exactly, yeah. But in 1 year, you know, it's 200 and something, 222 subscribers. As soon as I upload some shorts, my viewer count almost cracked 2,000 in a couple of days. And then you get an extra, I just got another subscriber there. So,
Ooh.
you know, it's just
someone belong in San Francisco right about now.
Let's check Instagram. What's it on?
But what is it on? We'll check it one more time right at the end.
All right, it's on 862 at the moment.
All right, I think it'll crack the 900.
Oh, easy. But that's just the thing. It's not hard, because you're seeing all these other platforms are having some variation of a TikTok in their website, and this is what people have been asking for so long. Why have clips if they're not discoverable or consumable? You have clips and they're fine to, you know, repurpose them in YouTube videos and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But have a system on the site where you can just flick through like TikTok and just flick through them.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
I think it's a big problem Twitch had of, we'll let someone else do it. You know, like, we'll give you the tools, but if you want to make the most of this clip, you either have to download it yourself, in which you have to usually use a third-party program.
Yep.
Especially if it's a clip of, say it's a channel you enjoy watching, or as I had to do for your clips when I wanted to edit them, I had to use a third-party program to download them, because because otherwise you'd have to download them and then upload them so I could download them. By then, the compression on something that's already compressed, it's just going to look like crap.
Yeah.
So you need to take out as much of the middleman as possible when it comes to using this kind of content.
Yep.
But yeah, Twitch is just like, we'll leave it to everyone else, and it's really hurt them. Now, I know the app is called Imager, but I always call it Imgur, and I will fight anyone in the street on it. They it's basically, it's like Reddit for the most part, where it's just memes. You know, Reddit has a whole bunch of other stuff. Don't get me wrong, but like, let's be real. The majority of people go to those sites for the memes, and they had an issue where people were posting a bunch of gaming stuff, and no one wants to see game stuff when you're looking at freaking memes. Like, we're here for shitposts. We're not here for the other stuff. So what they did was actively create another app in order for people to go, hey, you want to talk about gaming, all that stuff? That's great. Here's a place for you to do it. And you're still within our community, but you can just post it here so it doesn't annoy everyone else. So to see Twitch do something like that, where it's like, as we said, you know, like with the clips, there is no active way for us to just sit down and watch them without actively going to people's channels, or trying to find third-party sites that might have compilations, or YouTube channels that use them. Yep. Is I've had friends who have had clips featured in these third-party channels and stuff, but you know, that's relying on them to hopefully get views, and even then, it's not going to necessarily translate, because someone might like the clip and go, haha, yeah, I saw it on YouTube, I can't be bothered going to another website to subscribe to this person. You know, it's a lot more. It's just it's not set up to be user friendly.
No, and that's my issue with, I guess, the discoverability, or just things being consumable on these Twitch clips. Let's say that I have a funny moment I want to share from the Twitch clips. I clip it, it sits there, and it more often than not, unless you're already a big channel, it just sits there with no views. You want to share that and get viewers on it, you then need to share that to your own social media. So you're doing all the running around just to try to get some kind of traction to this clip. What people have done in the past is they send it into those, you know, Twitch compilation, YouTube channels and their Discords and lots of stuff just to try to get featured. But you are still doing the running around. Or you can make the short form content and take advantage of all these really great algorithms and have the apps do the running around for you. Have it sent out to almost 1,000 people in 24 hours. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and again, that's for someone who is, let's be real, a very small channel.
Tiny, yeah.
But I also want to point out, to me, it's just, this wasn't meant to turn into us bashing Twitch, but it's going to happen because we both love and hate the site for different reasons. You know, it's brought us a lot of joy over the years, and there's a lot of things that annoy us with it, and I get very frustrated with them with a lot of things.
They're still relevant because we need to focus on short form content, and obviously the point of this podcast is that short form content is being favored at the moment, and Twitch just aren't realizing that, so it's still absolutely relevant.
But what annoys me with Twitch is it would make sense to have it so people can, like, you know, as you said with TikTok, where you can just scroll through them, or even have like a separate thing for them, because that would bring traffic to them.
Huge. You
know, like YouTube traffic has probably gone up with shorts. You know, TikTok is only, let's be real, it's only grown in popularity. You know, it hasn't gone down at all. It's just grown and grown and grown. And let's be real, TikTok, when it started, it's, sorry for the language, it was fucking cancer, right? Like, it was bad. I used to watch cringe compilations because I needed that little dopamine hit.
Me too.
And I'm pretty sure it's still on my Twitter, where I said, TikTok cringe compilations are like crack cocaine for me right now. And I can't stop myself watching them. And then, because the content, the problem was everyone was chasing the same content.
Yeah.
It got so boring that I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And you look at the content that's coming out on TikTok now, and it's matured.
It's matured a lot.
Way better.
Yeah.
You know, it's much better than the days when you first started on TikTok doing weights with your goddamn vacuum cleaner. I haven't forgot. Good times. But, you know, like, this is what we mean by, like, when you have to put a little bit of polish on your content, it stands out so much.
It goes a long way. Yeah.
It really does, because if you just do the same thing everyone else is doing, like, literally to the T, then what makes it worth watching yours over someone who started it? You know,
exactly. Yeah,
you know, like you're relying only on personality at that point and hoping you get lucky.
before I get into one of the last points I have, with Twitch, they are basically halfway there from getting a version of TikTok onto their website.
Yeah.
TikTok,
Definitely.
Basically all the sites that we've talked about. TikTok, the YouTube Shorts, kind of Instagram Reels to a point. They all have the, up to 60-second clips apart from Reels. Twitch's clips are up to 60 seconds. They've already got the feature to make the fucking videos in their website. All they need to do is add in a quick little editing program into their website as well, just to give like some basic effects and stuff like, iShot does or InShot, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And then
even YouTube has it.
It's not...
YouTube's got some basic editing stuff on
they're
it,
halfway
on their site.
there. I'm like, finish it off and
I
make
think
it
that's what makes us so pissed off with Twitch. Let's be real. Like, the problem with Twitch, it is so close to being perfect
Yeah.
that it's infuriating that it isn't.
And they're not doing anything. And the thing is, like, they are so good, but all these websites are coming and just streaming right past them, and Twitch are just looking at them waving and being like, oh, bye.
Yeah.
Like, mate, you're being left in the dust.
Twitch is getting 90% of the way and then stopping every friggin' step of the way. And people go, oh, they never innovate. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. They were the first to do the whole clip idea. Short form content wasn't the first time. They weren't the first to do that. But like when it comes to, especially in the live streaming scene or the idea of it, they were fantastic, but they didn't continue with it. When they go, oh, we're going to add in, instant chat. They didn't come up with instant chat.
Yeah.
That was Mixer actually had that first. I'm not sure if there was another site that did have that. You could feel free to look into that. But from what my knowledge is, Mixer had it well before. But you needed to have insane internet to get that to work.
Yeah.
But look at the chat times in Twitch. It's ridiculous. It's so friggin' smooth. From a viewership perspective, the site is pleasant to browse.
Yeah.
It's nice to look at. It's not too busy, and generally the aesthetic of the page is pretty solid. It is laid out a bit more social media-y than what it used to be, which I think is to its benefit for the average viewer. If you've been around a while, like me, it can be a little just give me the thing I want.
Yeah.
But that's because back in the day, you used to go, here's all the games, good luck, here's your followers, done.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, oh, we're going to show you, here's a couple of smaller streamers that are streaming, here's some bigger streamers, they've done, they're so close to getting it right, but they just keep tripping over at the finish line.
It's frustrating. There clearly is a big importance on short form, and they're just ignoring it.
Yeah. They're too worried about I'm sure have you seen the clip of the Metallica thing?
Oh yeah. It's so dumb.
I found out the reason for it, and I do understand why they did it. And people are like, oh, it's Twitch just not wanting to get DMCA. It's like, no, they paid for the rights, but streamed it to the wrong page. They weren't whitelisted, so because they put in the automated system, the page would have got taken down. And it would have just been an even bigger shit show. So it's annoying, but that's a clerical error that happens. So I will give Twitch a pass on it. Plus, it was pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll get because we're getting close to time. We should get into your last point.
So the last point, we've obviously just a bit of a summary. Instagram Reels up to 30 seconds, great algorithm. TikTok and YouTube Shorts up to 60 seconds, again, great algorithms. All pushing to people who they've basically learnt their interactions and their actions on the site, just so your content can go to people who would most likely enjoy it, and I guess give your content the best chances getting as big as it possibly can. The last thing I want to touch on is how easy it is to get from making one piece of content and sharing it. This is the most, I guess, for me, it was one of the most liberating things, is that I edit one thing on my computer, I save it to my phone because of Instagram Reels, but I just drag and drop to TikTok and also to YouTube. And it's such a simple thing where you're not making, different content for different websites. You can make one video and upload it to all of them to give yourself as much exposure. Now, you probably won't want to do this if you're getting into if you're a bigger content creator, but if you're just looking for exposure, why not take the one video and upload it to the 3 different sites? It's going to generate a lot of exposure. You're going to get a lot of attention. And as we said at the start, it's a lot more attention than what you get, let's say, on Instagram, if you were to post it to your feed. There's hardly anyone operating the feeds anymore. Everyone is using Reels, and Reels have just blown up on Instagram.
Yeah. And as I said at the very start, it's very easy to sit there and just scroll through a bunch without even realizing.
So consumable, yeah. And so if you make one piece of content and you're thinking, okay, great, I made one TikTok. TikTok have a feature, it compresses the video a lot, but you can just download it from TikTok onto your phone, then upload it to Instagram Reels from your phone, provided it's less than 30 seconds. But that's how easy it can be. And a lot of people have the TikTok logo on their Instagram Reels, so clearly that's what they've done. And it's just such a simple tool that I don't think a lot of people are actually taking advantage of. And they're just not getting the advantage of the algorithm that's pushing the content out to so many people so quickly.
Yeah. Now, this goes to something you've made a video on ages and ages back with the Why You Left affiliate program. You don't owe a single company shit. No. All right? You don't, say you get your viewership mainly from Instagram, right? That's where you get the majority of your views. It doesn't mean your content only has to go there. There is no brand loyalty when it comes to social media because you're using all of them. Do not just go, I'm only going to use one. Because if you use only one, you're missing out on millions of potential views.
Heaps. Yeah.
Even if you're small, and you might get, how many is your video at now?
Let me just hit that healthy refresh button. 943.
Called it. So, even if you're a small as hell channel, you could still be 900 views. That is 900 potential followers.
Yep.
900 potential subscribers. Because if they subscribe to you on YouTube, you need, 1,000 to be able to get monetized? That's 90% there.
Yep.
And
obviously with your content, you obviously connect your other platforms. So, I've got in my Instagram, I've got my link tree, which has all my links, and a link to my Twitch. But this is the thing as well, with that part 3, the 900 views, there's only about 10 likes on it. So even though there's only 10 likes, it's gone out to almost 1,000 people. Imagine if this was a video that a lot more people were interacting with, how many more people would this be pushed out to? Even though a video isn't getting that much interaction by, that's, 1 in 100 people are basically liking this. Yeah.
It's about a 10% click-through rate.
Yeah. If it was a lot more, it'd be pushed out to so many more. If it was a viral video, it'd be fucking blowing up. And this is the thing, the potential is massive.
Yeah, and click-through rates is something we can have a full-blown discussion about for a very, very long time. But to kind of wrap up kind of what my point on it, on short-form content is, think of someone like PewDiePie, with his 100+ million subscribers. Does he get 100 million views a video? Oh. No. He'd probably be pushing maybe 6 to 10. So let's be real, he's getting 6 to 10% click-through rate.
That's something I wanted to bring up with PewDiePie just quickly. Yeah. People are passing him in viewership.
Yeah.
Just by using YouTube Shorts. Channels that don't have any subscribers, some have passed him in viewership just by utilizing the algorithm and the power behind YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
That's the potential.
I think actual YouTube videos as well, normal content, they only count as a view after X amount has been watched.
Yeah.
So people haven't clicked on, seen 1 second and then pissed off, because otherwise you could easily just constantly do that for your own videos to get it to 1,000 views and then take advantage of an algorithm. Yeah. But yeah, don't think, I get 1,000 views, therefore I get 1,000 subscribers. It's 1,000 potential subscribers.
Yeah.
So if you get 1 million views, you could probably gain somewhere in the realm of 1,000 to 10,000 followers from something like that.
Depending on the content, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
so
and that's
short
the thing
form
as well,
content just gives you that opportunity.
Yeah. And this is the thing. Just because short form content is so powerful at the moment, does that mean that you need to drop every other form of content and focus solely on this? No, it absolutely doesn't. If you do a long form content like podcasts, keep going with them. If you make sort of medium sized content like videos or reviews or discussions or anything, keep doing that. This is just another tool in your arsenal to get the exposure that you're wanting. And again, as the whole point of this podcast is to diversify your content.
Yeah.
It's such
100%.
a powerful tool. Yet the exposure is insane. And if we're all being honest, it can be fairly low effort as well. So it's not going to take too much time. You can edit it on your phone on your lunch break, and the potential is insane. So I reckon do it, add it in with the rest of the content you're making, and you will see a sharp jump in the exposure and hopefully the followers or subscribers or whatever platform you're looking at. Hopefully you see a sharp jump in interactions on those platforms. Alright guys, thank you so much for listening to yet another episode of Pixels Podcast. As we said, all the information is in the description, including the Patreon. Give us your money. Thank you very much. Karlec's information will be in the description as well if you were blown away by anything he said. Karlec, where's the best place to find you?
In my bedroom, because I'm lonely. Probably best place at the moment is Twitch. I've been streaming a lot.
You have,
I didn't expect to start streaming as heavily as I did this year. To put in perspective, you stream, 2 hours, three times a week?
Yeah. About 6 to 7 hours a week, yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing something in the realm of 40 hours a week of streaming, something freaking ridiculous at the moment. I usually do about 15 because of weekends and stuff and a bit of downtime. But yeah, this year I've just decided to go ham. So catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Karlec.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys, thank you so much. That's going to be it for another episode of Pixels Podcast. If you are listening on platforms that have a rating, please go ahead and give me a 5-star rating or a thumb up or whatever the hell it is on whatever you're listening to. Thank you again, Karlec, for joining the show, and we'll catch you in the next podcast.
No worries. Stay safe out there, everyone.
All right, bye.